All right. Hi, everyone. Thank y'all for joining us for our Beef Brunch news update for Tuesday, May 16th. It's sunny, I know, here in North Louisiana and really starting to get warm. Vince is caught up out in the field doing some work. So you just have Lee and I today. And we won't have our video on today. You'll just have the slideshow, but you'll get to hear our voices. So, Lee, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and let you get started on your update.
Well, thanks, Ashley. Glad to be with you all here today. I'm sorry if ill prepared is the definition of today for me. Been really busy last week or two, and got hung up on some stuff today, so I don't have the market reports prepared and everything. But I'll go on and cover the markets since I brought it up just straight out the gate. Um, Things are pretty steady as far as prices go on not only on a national level, which I know Ashley will touch on a little bit during her portion, but also on a local level. We've seen high demand on the lightweight calves. The high demand continues, and the demand is being met by good prices. Really, prices I would call them steady over the last week and a half, 2 weeks or so, and maybe just a notch higher than what we last reported on our last news update. So a lot of positivity in the markets. Um, we've seen in the last week or so, and Ashley may touch on this a little bit. Some of the costs of grain and feed costs have moderated just a tad and have come down just a little bit. And so, as I've been talking to people on these markets, the question inevitably gets asked: How high can it go? And we're already at nosebleed levels on the price of these lightweight type calves, these 4 to 6 weight calves. And my stock answer for them has been, well, the what's really holding us back is the price of feed, the cost of gain on these cattle, because when these people are buying these calves out of Louisiana, they're inevitably going to try to move them somewhere, get some grazing on them, get some added weight gain before they hit the feedlot. Now, the heavier class cattle, you selling 7 to 8 weight cattle, they're most likely going to wind up in the feedlot. But anyway, I digress. The 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 holding the limiting factor has been the cost of gain, because these feed costs have just been so astronomical. And so with that moderating a little bit, and so on, we're seeing these prices just scale a little higher and a little higher. And if you sit down and do the numbers on the prices on some of these cattle, it's a tough ask to think that they're going to break even, judging on the futures market. But the futures market is responding to higher cash prices, and so that's a good thing. Um, We've seen a lot of replacement cow sales, stocker cow sales over the last month, 2 months around Louisiana, and some of the prices just make you want to sit back and kind of study your lesson on some stuff. Some of these quality type cattle have just been bringing astronomical amounts, and but really and truly, I don't think that the price of stocker cattle has truly caught up to calf prices, if you will. It's almost like stocker cow prices are kind of scared to go higher than what they should be. Um, but really and truly, I think there's still some bargains out there. I visit with a lot of people that buy a lot of cows and a lot of replacement cows and stocker type cows, and what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing myself, there's still some bargains that can be had on these replacement cows and these stocker type cows. Had the opportunity to go over to Louisiana Tech, got to judge their beef portion of their little international show over there. Got to meet some great students, some great faculty members and supporters over that way. Really had a good time and enjoyed myself. Had the opportunity to attend their farm production sale, and I know certainly the price of those bred heifers and those exposed heifers and few pairs that they sold, it was sure good enough. You're seeing some F1 tiger stripe exposed heifers touching that $2,200 per head or $2,300 per head. That's pretty good levels. And of course, there was probably still some value left in those cattle. Anyway, good visiting with all those people. This is the first year they've had it back in several years, so it's good to be back. Kind of going in reverse order, I'll get back to where I usually start one of these news updates, and that's with the weather. It has turned on a dime in the last 2 weeks, I guess. Um, we're still wet. Rain has just been plaguing us out of the last 2 weeks. There was about a 3 or 4 day dry period where folks were able to get out and make some hay, and a lot of hay was made during that dry period. But since that time, it has been rain and some thunderstorms ever since. And it hadn't been that long ago. Our beef and forage field day at the Hill Farm Research Station was on April the 27th, and we were joking just the other day that on April 27th we were wearing vests and some light jackets, and I can tell you that the need for vests and light jackets is out the door in North Louisiana right now. It has been incredibly hot with highs even into the lower 90s, humidity levels that are just incredibly high, and these afternoon pop-up thunderstorms and rain showers have just held things back. I still talk to producers that are short of grass, folks, even on into mid-May now where we're at. Folks just are having a hard time getting enough of these warm season grasses, these Bermuda grasses, Bahia grasses, just having a hard time getting them kicked off. Talked to a producer just 2 or 3 days ago that was talking about still feeding some hay here and there, and this person is not heavily stocked. It's not like they're overstocked on their pastures. They just don't have the ryegrass or clover needed to kind of to help as far as that winter cool season forages. But anyway, these nighttime lows are definitely getting on up there and getting into an area that's conducive as far as growing conditions go for these warm season grasses. Look for a lot of hay to be made. There's a lot of folks sitting on the sidelines just waiting that didn't get to participate in the last 3 or 4 days during the last 2 weeks that were clear, mainly because of the wet conditions in the fields. Folks just told me, well, I've got hay ready to cut. I've got ryegrass that's overly mature, dead, or dying, but the field is just too wet. I just can't get out there, and that goes the same for fertilization and for any kind of weed control. Got some folks with wheat that are looking at spraying some herbicides, making an early season application, try to get ahead of some of those warm season weeds, but they can't get across the pasture. So it's just it seems like we've kind of shifted over into summertime mode up this way. Starting to hear some early fall born calves being weaned and of course marketed. I think we're seeing a lot of the greener type calves hit the market. These high prices are bringing them out of the country, folks. And I think by the time we visit for our next news update, I think you will be in full swing as far as those fall born calves being marketed and everything. Once again, I want to apologize for not having a market update. I really enjoy putting that thing together, and I hope you do too. And I want to apologize for not having it here for you today. We've had a string of events over the last month, and finally caught up with me, and just running in a deficit here. So we'll get the course altered and be back on track next time. Ashley, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. You're not supposed to pitch it as you're not ready. You're supposed to pitch it on a positive of, we've got a short and sweet update for y'all today. We're not going to take up too much of your time. So I'm just saying, look on the bright side here. Lee mentioned a lot of the weather and the pasture updates, and as he said, we've had quite a few events going on the last week or two, and so he and I both, I guess, have been flip-flopping what area of the state that we're in, and I think that what he's covered in terms of weather and pasture updates pretty much covers the whole state. I think if it's sunny in North Louisiana, it's raining in South Louisiana, and vice versa over the last couple of weeks. So I also want to remind y'all In regards to hay season and pastures and all of that, even though we're not keeping up with our monthly webinars, we swap those in. We'll have a seasonal series is what we're looking at doing, but all of our previous information, our previous webinars are up on the YouTube channel. So LSU Ag Center Livestock on YouTube, and you can go under the Beef Brunch webinar playlist, scroll back to this time last year, and even the year before, and you can find those videos on pasture management, hay production, and those sorts of things. And if there's some information that you need that you don't see online, of course, always reach out to one of us, reach out to your local extension agent, and they'll be able to help you find that. In regards to our updates in general, or excuse me, our events in general, we really don't have anything big coming up for y'all. It's kind of slows down as the heat picks up and everything during the summer. We always keep reminding you over and over and over again, as you work those fall calves or as you're working your cattle in general, whether you're doing pregnancy determination, whatever, work them in the cool, work them as early as you can in the mornings, not only to benefit y'all, but of course, less heat stress on your cattle. We face that here, and I'll probably say it every news update that we have going through the summer. Make it easier on you, make it easier on your cattle. Work them as early as you possibly can in the mornings. Think about shade structures. If you don't already have those up, you need to go ahead and start working on them and getting them up, or moving cattle into pastures where there is more shade. Regarding the markets, so these are markets ending in the week of May 12th. Slaughter volumes for the past week were 623,000. That's down about 3,000 head from the previous week, and decreased about 28,000 compared to the same week last year. Choice box beef closed the week at $306.63. That dropped about $2.78 from the previous week. The Choice Select spread was $21.87, which was only increased about 94 cents from the previous week. And that is about $3.89 higher than the 5-year average for the same week. Reported in the National Weekly Direct Slaughter Negotiated Purchases Report on a confirmed 81,474 head. For the week in the Texas Panhandle, live purchases traded about $2 lower at 170. In Kansas, the live purchases also traded about $2 lower at 170. Nebraska was also about $2 lower for the live purchases. Those range from 175 to 177. And then the Western Corn Belt, the live purchases traded unevenly steady from about 175 to 177 as well. Your 500 to 550 pound steers, mediums and large ones and twos, sold at an average of 225, that was down about $18 from the previous week. Then your 750 to 800 pound feeder steers, mediums and large ones and twos, sold at about an average of 194, and that's about $2 lower compared to the previous week. Looking at the lean cull cows, those are the thin conditioned. They ended the week at about 85 cents, which was down a penny. The boning utilities, your moderate conditions, ended at 94 cents, which is down a penny. And the breakers held steady, that's your high conditioned, at 97 cents. And as Lee mentioned, some of these feedstuffs have gone up just a little bit or quite a bit, depending on which ones you're looking at. So the soybean meal was up $2.90 a ton at $462.90. Soybean hulls were down $5 at $140 a ton. Rice bran held steady at $200 a ton. Cottonseed meal was up $12.50 at $377.50 a ton. Whole cottonseed was steady at $300 a ton. Corn gluten feed meal, the 60% is steady at $765 a ton. That is increased, so it was steady with the previous week, but that is up $65 a ton from our previous news update 2 weeks ago. Dry distillers grains held steady at $257.50 a ton, and corn is down 4 cents a bushel at $6.50 a bushel. I think that's about all we have for y'all today. Again, just a reminder, reach out to us if y'all have questions on anything, or if there's anything that we can help y'all with. And we hope y'all have a great couple of weeks. We'll see you again soon.